It's been 4 years since I last set a reading goal, and this year I read more books than I did last year. So if you're tired of setting reading goals and feeling like you failed every year or reading goals just stress you out, let me share what worked for me and why I think you might want to try something different this year. I've tried them all. 30 books in 30 days, ambitious Goodreads challenges, you name it. And every time it left me feeling overwhelmed, behind, or like I was reading just to check a box. 4 years ago, I decided to stop measuring my reading success by numbers. It felt strange at first, like how would I know if I was doing enough? How would I know if I was being a serious reader or not if I didn't track the numbers? But something amazing happened. Over time, I found I was reading more because I wanted to rather than because I had to. This year, without a single goal, I read more books than I did last year and enjoyed them more than ever. I even discovered some of my all-time favorite reads in this year. But why is this? Why would setting a reading goal make me read less, if not less, then have more fun reading? Goals can end up working against us rather than for us. In the case of a reading goal, let's say at the beginning of the year, you decide you want to read 80 books this year. Here's what might happen, and let me know if this sounds familiar to you. At the beginning of the year, you feel motivated, probably excited, and get into reading with energy. Honestly, probably because you've got some time off. A few months in, life gets busier and you start feeling behind. You notice that you're at only 15 books when you should be closer to like 20. At the mid-year point, the stress of staying on track starts to overshadow the joy of reading. You begin to avoid longer or more complex books that you might genuinely enjoy because they take too much time. So reading starts to feel like a chore rather than fun. Towards the end of the year, you realize you're far from your goal, maybe 20 or even 30 books behind. The pressure feels overwhelming, and instead of motivating you to read more, it leads to burnout. You might stop reading altogether for weeks or months, feeling discouraged. In the final stretch, if you do manage to read your goal, it probably comes at the cost of quality. You've read a lot, but maybe not the books you truly wanted to read. I know I'm guilty of throwing in a bunch of short books or graphic novels into the mix just to hit that number. If you don't reach the goal at all, you might feel like a failure, even if you actually read an impressive number of books this year. So why does this happen? The goal you set prioritizes quantity over experience. In other words, it's about numbers and not enjoyment. The stress you feel undermines or ruins your motivation. And this type of goal doesn't account for life changes, fluctuation in motivation, or time. Basically, it's not at all flexible. The worst part, you probably set this at the start of the year when you had lots of time off, you were chill, relaxed, and hopeful for the new year. The worst possible time to set goals. So if these goals don't work, what will? Okay, so if you're with me, you might not want to set a numbers-based reading goal this year. So what should you do instead? Especially if you want to make reading a priority in the year to come, not setting a reading goal might feel like, well, not enough. So what's the alternative? This is my personal favorite method and one I've talked about for a few years now, which is to set a theme for the year. For us, this is likely something along the lines of the year of reading for me, the year of reading time, you get it. The year of works as a concept because it gives you the whole year to make as much decision making as possible geared towards your theme. In other words, because it's the year of reading, you'll make sure to take a book everywhere you go. You'll make sure to make a monthly budget for new books or join your local library and go often. You'll make sure to pick books you actually want to read, and you'll tell others about your theme so that they know that's what your year is all about. And because it's a theme and not a rigid number, if you have something happen in your life that slows down your reading, that's okay. The theme is reading, so you'll get back to it, or if you still only read a few pages, you're still doing it. Essentially, it's kind, flexible, and takes into consideration your whole lifestyle rather than just the numbers. The best part, I think, is that this flexibility means even if you set the theme when you're all chill and motivated at the start of the year, it doesn't influence how ambitious the goal is, because it's not a goal, it's a theme. If you want to get more specific, you could have the year of mythology, or the year of genre exploration, or the year of audiobooks. Compared to a numbers goal, a theme for the year might seem a little odd, but you have to trust me when I say the benefits are worth it. Without a goal hanging over me, I found myself reading more spontaneously. I picked up books I actually wanted to read, not ones I thought would help me hit a target. I read slowly when I wanted to savor a story and binge through others when I couldn't put them down. Essentially, there's way less pressure. Weirdly enough, with no goal in place, I felt a lot more freedom and flexibility in general, which opened my eyes to exploring some new books and genres I just wouldn't have picked up otherwise. I'm not perfect. I still felt disappointed if I had a slow reading month, but because I don't have a yearly goal set, it didn't set me back. It didn't ruin anything, it just was, and that's okay. Letting go of goals doesn't mean you're less of a reader. If anything, it allows you to be more in tune with what you actually want from your reading life. Avoiding reading goals has completely transformed the way I approach books. I'm reading more in some years and less than others, but that's not the point. I'm enjoying it more and feeling less pressure to perform as a reader, which honestly is so freeing. If you've been stuck in the cycle of setting goals and feeling like you're falling short, maybe it's time to try something different. You might just rediscover what made you love reading in the first place. So you tell me, do you set reading goals or are you ready to try a year without them? Let me know in the comments and let's chat. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time for another video.